So I can confirm it is a South African ladder. That's useless information, but you know, I need to talk to Richmond, because you know, the previous ladder, as you can see, falls short. I mean, and so Richmond comes along with this nice new ladder, and he kindly donates it, and they put it up, but it's only about a foot higher than the previous ladder. And the real hard climbing is when you get off the ladder and you need to diagonally move to the right to actually get into a safe place. Much more difficult on the descent, of course, because you cannot protect that. On the ascent, you can make use of a Jumar, which is a wonderful piece of equipment that allows you to slide this mechanical device onto the rope, and you can lean on it, and it gives you welcome rest. But on the descent, it doesn't work. And so that's the hard part about that descent, is getting back down there. And so that, just to give you another sense of what it's like to actually be on that ladder. And so I need to talk to Roy Fisher, who's the guy who donated that ladder. I haven't had a chance to do that. Just to thank him for donating it, but just to say, you know, why didn't you take it all the way? I mean, if you're going to put an artificial device there, let's go all the way. I mean, why make it difficult? Anyway. And then you get another little awkward section on the mountain known as the third step. And then you reach a point known as the summit traverse. And the summit traverse was where these two Russian climbers the previous year had reached, and it's a narrow traverse, it's no more than a foot wide, and they got there, and of course the wind was blowing into their face at an unbelievable speed, and they were convinced they were going to get blown off the mountain. And it was a beautiful day. And as I clipped in at the start of the summit traverse and started moving, I knew that today could be the day. But I want to give you a sense of what it's like to actually be on a foot wide ledge when you have 10,000 feet beneath you. So Morgan, if you can give us that next clip, thank you. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. I must say, often it's at this point that people who, prior to the presentation, have come up to me and said, you know, Ronnie, we've been harboring this secret desire to want to climb Everest. And once they see that clip at the end of it, they come up to me afterwards and say, we've had some second thoughts. We're not quite sure if we can handle that. It's a scary part, but you then sort of double back on yourself and you suddenly see this dome and you realize that you're finally going to get there. There's this little dome of snow. It's no more than about 10 feet in diameter. Got some prayer flags hanging off it, and it was amazing. I got there at 6 a.m. in the morning. My Sherpa and I were the first on the summit that day. And as we sat and just gazed out over this incredible vista, it was amazing. For 20 minutes I sat there. No one else, just the two of us. What an incredible privilege. And of course I thought about my family. You know, why do we do some of these things? I remembered to take out the South African flag, and for those of you know how it should be held, we're holding it the wrong way around. A few people have said to me, but don't you know which way around the South African flag should be? And I remember someone saying to me, well, as long as the red is on top, you're okay. But in fact, we were looking at it the right way, but it wasn't right for the photographers. You don't think about those things. And after Mike had arrived on the summit, or just before he did, in fact, I was gazing out over this incredible vista and suddenly became aware of some climbers around me. And I thought, am I hallucinating? Am I going through this typical sort of state of where you're starting to lose it? 2 Japanese climbers had come up from the south side. It was amazing. And suddenly there they were. We'd come in completely opposite directions, and we embraced and gave each other a hug. And I couldn't speak Japanese, they couldn't speak English, but we both acknowledged that we were at that point, standing on the highest point on our planet. And it was just amazing. And we just had some brief connection. And I mentioned this radio program, and of course I did phone my family first. A lot of people have said to me, did you phone the radio program first, or did you phone your family first? No, I did phone my family first. But I want to share that phone call that I made to this radio program. It also gives you a feeling of us coming up onto the summit, and the first person you see coming up there is me in the red down suit. And hopefully you enjoy that. It's a little bit of self-indulgence for me. I hope you don't mind. But I think you will enjoy it. Every time I hear and see this, I get goose flesh. So forgive me if it's a little self-indulgent. Morgan, thank you.